I've been away in San Diego for TwitchCon for a few days, and The Sims released 2 kits while I was gone. I attempted to make a video going over them from my hotel room that I don't think was very good. I'll link that down below in case you want to see like an overview, first impressions of the kits. But because I've been gone, I haven't actually had a chance to play with the new kits yet. And I have been daydreaming about this all weekend. So that's what we're gonna do today. I'd like to make a build using specifically the new Artist Studio kit. And then tomorrow I'll post one based around the nursery kit. So in case you missed it, this is the new Art Studio kit. I think the theme here is pretty clear. It's just a lot of furniture and clutter to help build out an art studio space for your Sims. It's just a build kit, so there's not any new gameplay, but there is a new woodworking table, a new easel, and a new art tablet. We have all of those things in the base game, but we don't have very many variants of them. So it's kind of cool to have like a cuter new version plus a bunch of clutter to go along with it. And for this build, I'm kind of envisioning like a lofted, converted factory type of art studio. I'm thinking I want it to be quite small, but really tall. So I'm putting it on this tiny 20 by 15 lot, and we'll make it really skinny, but multiple levels. There's gonna be a lot of exposed brick and like maybe a sort of industrial vibe. I feel like this concept that I have is kind of wacky, so you're just gonna have to bear with me for a second so I can try and show you what I mean. But I love the idea of this like sort of shorter 3rd story up there. And then this part might be a little bit lofted as well, and we can have like an art studio space off to the side. I think it's gonna be kind of a funky shape, which I'm pretty excited about. This is one of those times where I'm gonna have to beg you to trust the process, because I realize that as I'm doing this, it's looking really weird. So I encourage you to trust me while we try and figure this one out. Okay, this is kind of what I've got so far. It's a really strange shape, and I don't know if this is gonna be good or not, but this is kind of that like funky brick building that I was picturing when I said converted factory. I guess you can kind of see that I'm picturing a lot of metal, but specifically black metal as an accent color. This is gonna need to have a half wall around the outside. It looks weird. We wanted to have some sort of wall that we can decorate with brick. We do have quite a bit of metal that we can put on the roof too, so we can add those in. And then if I paint that half wall black, is that weird? I don't think so. Lovestruck has this really simple, like plain metal fence. That is exactly what I want to add on this. And I was originally planning on having this be like a little bit higher up, but maybe this could be a balcony, because that might be kind of cool. And it adds more of the metal accents that we're going for. Okay, all of a sudden, this lofted section is really big. I didn't really realize what I was getting myself into when I started building this. Is it weird to use this same fence in the back? Because I kind of want to like fence the whole thing in. I also don't really know what kind of path I want to get up to the front door. Let me come back to that, because I want to think about the outside for a second, because I want to make sure that we have enough windows and like windows that look good. Okay, the window situation is like a little bit dramatic in my humble opinion, but I do want to get some of these like nice sliding doors added for the balconies. And I do think it's okay if we have like kind of a mix and match of kits, because I would love to have this door into the backyard. It's very big, and obviously it's like wide open, but I think it looks really cool like that. I'm gonna want something a little bit simpler for the front door. I'm actually kind of tempted to use something like this, like a plain front door. I'm trying to figure out where I can put like a ladder or something, because I would love to have access to the upstairs. I know that might be a little bit weird with it right there, but I think it's worth doing. I think it looks really cool with the ladder. And then this could be like a hangout space, because I'm picturing that this whole top floor, this is where the art studio goes. So we'll fill it with like all the art stuff. Seriously, like the entire massive loft is just all the Artist Studio kit. And then we have a little bathroom. I guess we can put a bathroom door right there. I'm not using this wood floor. That was just a placeholder. I'm sorry. I don't mean to alarm you, because that looked bad. Okay, my initial thought was that we could have 2 bedrooms down here. I don't think that's gonna happen anymore, because now I'm looking at it and I'm like, where are we gonna put the kitchen and everything? So we could have a dining table. They can still get around this fine. Maybe there could be like a cool seat over there. This can be like a little entryway table next to the front door. The kitchen can kind of wrap around this corner. I mean, obviously it's a really weird shape, but I think I kind of like that about it. Even like if the kitchen was weirdly shaped like this, I think that also makes it cool. It does kind of embrace that like funky nature of the lofted space, and that's what I'm going for. I do think I want to have like a pretty shiny concrete downstairs on the first floor. We can have wood in the loft, and then maybe wood up here too. All right, we've got a vision, and I think what I'll do now is work on the upstairs, because I'm actually really excited about this upstairs space, and I think there are some kind of cool things that we can add in. I don't know about using this wood everywhere, but isn't that kind of fun to have that like dark wood color? I also don't really know what sort of colors I'm gonna use just yet. Not this one, probably not that bright green, but I'm just thinking that maybe that wall could become sort of like an accent color for whatever we end up doing. Okay, I think it is kind of my vision to use like basically every single thing from this kit. So I'm gonna go through and start just adding stuff. Oh, we could totally have this downstairs. This might even be a cool thing to put like over here. We don't have to use it in like a funky color, but isn't that fun? I think I want to use the black with paint splatter everywhere as our main swatches over here. I'm kind of wondering about making this little section have like the sink and then maybe some storage rack type stuff. I put a different flooring here because I want it to look like maybe it can be more safe to get a little bit messier. We have to keep in mind that we also have a bunch of base game art studio type stuff, like there's big canvas racks. Of course, this doesn't come in black, so I might not use it. What if I put that kind of angled? Is that weird? Oh, and like this thing, that's from Nifty Knitting. Oh, these will be really cool. We should use that downstairs somewhere. I'm tempted to even put that like by the front door because that could be a fun way to get some more color. I've got some paint cans. There's even little things like these posters from Eco Lifestyle. This will look so cute on one of the smaller wall sections, like over here maybe. This is kind of a reference to a bunch of famous paintings. I wonder if I should put that up high. Why does this disappear when it gets close to the wall? That's weird, right? If I put a wall there and then I replace it, I guess that lets you lean it against. That is really, really strange. Okay, I haven't used this anywhere yet, so that's a problem. Because this is very similar to the pegboard that we've got here, except this one is better. So maybe I'll put that pegboard above the sink and then I can still use this. I guess it's probably better to focus on the kit drawings, right? And not the ones from other packs. And there's a ton of stuff. There's like a stack of sketchbooks. We've got the paint brushes. That's like an artist palette. I'm kind of trying to set up some things that could be painted right here. I've also got the little light put on it. Okay, I'm gonna need to move these canvases again. Oh no. Can I alt place it like right there? Is that fine? I guess then I could put a clock on this wall. And I know I'm spending a long time in this room, okay? But trust me, that's because this is the main room. I swear I'll tone it down once we move on to the other rooms. This is the whole inspiration for the build. So this is the most important part, okay? This part is serious. Okay, I'm gonna get the little tablet over here too. So we've got that tablet. And I think with that, we've used literally everything from this pack. I still wanna add some extra stuff. For example, there's this really nice rug from City Living. It kind of has like paint splatters on it. I want to take that and then add extra paint splatters kind of coming off of the rug. I think there's probably also some extra stuff from Nifty Knitting that might be good. Cause like this thing, that kind of looks like an art supply cart. There's more, there's like these little sort of craft table type items, but I don't think I'll use those. We could probably get a bunch of yarn in case somebody wanted to do knitting. And it might not be a bad idea to put the cross stitch item either. And we can kind of just shove that in the corner, but that way we've got literally every arts and craft item that you can do in The Sims 4 in this room. Oh, isn't there like a locker type bookshelf? Because that's really skinny. Maybe that could be good over here to fill in this corner. I also know we have this little stool, and this might not be so bad either because there's not any seats up here. Oh, it like barely fits. Okay, maybe no stool and just extra paint cans. Let's just add more paint cans. And plants. We need more plants too. This room could definitely use some extra greenery. Okay, you know what? I think that looks pretty cool. I think I'm worried about adding anything extra into this room because I don't want it to become non-functional. But we've got an easel in the middle, we've got a woodworking table, we've got kind of like a cleanup space, a ladder that goes somewhere. I don't know what I'm gonna put up there yet. Do you think the subway tile with the floor, the concrete floor, makes sense? Or should I put a regular tile floor? Maybe we do it all black. This is also the only bathroom in the house, so we're gonna wanna make sure that we've got everything in here. I'm putting a shower tub combo in case you have like a toddler or a dog. You're probably gonna want curtains because this bathroom is right in the front of the house. So you're gonna wanna make sure you can get some privacy if necessary. I kinda like that horrible wood color. I don't know. I think it adds some warmth to this room that we kinda need. I don't really know what else to put in here. I'm kinda struggling, I think because the door is so far in the corner. I feel like I need to remind myself that you don't have to put something in like every inch of the room. It's okay if there's like some empty space. I'm just so used to really trying to like completely fill in everything. Oh, what about, oh no. That could be okay. We got a little bath mat. Let's leave it like that because that'll stay functional that way. And maybe now's a good time for us to try and add some extra stuff outside because this amazing, wonderful house has 2 balconies. So we could probably get an extra easel on one of them. And I would love to have like a table, maybe a grill on the other one. Do you think shoving the grill in the corner is a bad idea? I'm not sure. We've got a nice big plant. We can put that. I think we're probably gonna wanna have a little plant over here too. I never know like how much is too much for these patio spaces. Oh, this is clipping. I guess it doesn't matter if it clips into the chimney very much, right? Because the chimney's fake. What if we had like a trellis going up that? Because that adds some more plants. Oh, you know what I'll do? Let's do real planter boxes. I know it makes us have less plants up here because there's nothing in them, but I think that's better for gameplay to have real planter boxes up there. And I might even get some extras over here. And then we can kind of put this little easel thing. I might get myself a little side table. We can put some brushes. So that way you can paint outside if you wanted to come sit out here and like paint the trees or something. Okay, cool. That's the whole middle floor done. Weird that I started with the middle floor. Let's think about the downstairs now. I feel like it might be nice to have this kind of bright blue color. There's lots of little brick accents and then perhaps a tiny bit of bright blue in the kitchen. I was kind of planning on using these cabinets, but I want to get one that has like a lot of black and also a lot of wood. So this one might not be so bad. And I'm thinking I'll use the matching bar. What swatch is that? This one? I feel like I actually don't put bars in my builds very often, but it's really useful to have. What happens if I use one of the skinny dishwashers? Oh, that actually isn't that bad. Maybe I will use that. You know what I hate is this cabinet. I think this cabinet is like genuinely so ugly. Maybe I won't do any uppers. Maybe I'll just have like this thing because that looks pretty good. There is like this little shelf from For Rent. Maybe I'll put that there. You know, I honestly thought when I was starting this that it would be like kind of limited pack. I think I've used every pack. I'm actually not kidding. I think at this point I've used every single pack. It's honestly getting a little ridiculous, but it's okay because it looks cool. It looks cool, so I'm fine with it. I actually wasn't planning on using this originally. I was gonna put a different rug, but now that I have it here, I kind of like it and it does kind of match the blue, so it might not be bad. I also think the industrial loft kit is like exactly what we're trying to mix in here, so I'll probably use a little bit of stuff from the industrial loft kit. Like we can have that bed in the primary bedroom. They do have a table. It's kind of a cool like bar height table, but I don't know if I want to use a bar height table. I'm actually kind of interested instead in maybe having these like glass chairs. I guess they're probably like clear plastic. I do like this rug. I don't know about the size of that rug. We can put a big dining table. I didn't really think about being able to fit a giant one like this, but that works. I got a trash can. I put a bookcase over here in this corner. I might also put another clock. I like to put these. I think it helps. It just fills in space nicely. And I'm curious about maybe having like a kind of more fancy table. I guess that one has glass. I don't know if that's what we want. There also is one from the industrial loft kit, but I may look through everything from that pack just to see if there's anything I want to try to use. We do have some kind of interesting like wall decor, I guess. And we can get some slightly cooler lights above this. Oh, I guess there's this thing. Maybe that could be fun to put on a I was gonna say to put on a patio somewhere, but actually, I guess if you shove that in the corner, that's almost like a privacy fence because it's so tall and it's so thick. It's like you can sit up here and people can't see you if they're walking down this sidewalk. I kind of like this like decal with the bikes. I'm tempted to use the ceiling fan as well. Oh, you know what else we could do is put these. Okay, so I've got this kind of cool hanging plant. We've got this sort of custom living room situation going on. I want to get a few more things. Like for example, I would love to have another bookcase or like something tall in this corner. I might want to get some like cute magazines over here. There's not really that many side tables, and a lot of the ones that we have that are small and skinny like this are like too tall. Because what are you gonna do? Put this mirrored side table right here? Is it weird to have the mirror? Oh, actually, I think it's fine. I think it looks kind of cool. Okay, sorry, false alarm. So that's what I've got for the living room. I think that this downstairs space, aside from the entryway, might be done. I'm gonna wanna add a couple more things over here first. I think a little umbrella rack is good. And then I was kind of picturing a big mirror. I just don't really like a lot of these. I think they're quite high up. Oh, what if we got a fireplace instead? All right, this might be like a little bit of a stretch. It's kind of big, but I think it's kind of cool. I don't know about the fireplace in front of the wooden wall. That's maybe not the smartest thing I've ever done. It's The Sims though, so it's fine. It doesn't matter. Here, I'll get like a little plant or something up here too, just to kind of add to it. We have a couple things. There's like a hand reference model. This thing, I guess that might be kind of good. We could always do a little candle too. You know what? That's actually not bad. I think I like this downstairs space. I can't really do any fancy lights because if I tried to put a light over the table, it would be floating in the sky. So we'll probably leave that. Now we got to do the bedrooms. Oh, I kind of love that. That's a fun color scheme. I want to use a bunch of the industrial loft kit, but now I'm worried, like, is this even functional? I think they should be able to get through there, but sometimes Sims are not very smart, so I could be wrong about that. I guess if they can't, I just delete the dresser, but that's as far as we can scoot it. I can't really do any more than that. Oh, here we go. I guess I could use the industrial loft kit chairs and stuff that I didn't use in the other room, because we could get a computer set up over here instead and use it kind of like a desk. I know I'm using a lot of the same wallpapers everywhere, but I don't think that's a bad thing. They had those pretty artist posters that I couldn't fit upstairs, so I'll use those here. And there's a couple other kind of cool things, like we could put some sketchbooks on this little desk. We could get some books like these, actual books for your Sims to read. That's so nice. I like this room a lot. And then we just have this little kids room and the upstairs left to finish. I think I'm gonna decorate this room for a child who loves music. We have quite a bit of stuff like that, even down to like these cool record decals that we have. Okay, this is like the totally wrong shade of purple, but can I use it anyway? We've also got the kids violin, and then I think we have to put in one of these kids art tables. I'd love to use this, but I don't think it's gonna fit because the room's quite small. We do have this, and that's kind of like if the kid hung up some of the pictures they've drawn. I'd love to get some little fairy light type stuff too. Maybe these little star lights we could put up. I'll put those all down this wall as well. And I think maybe that's the kids room done. So that's the whole downstairs. I want to do this top floor now. I'm going to use that metal wall everywhere. So initially I was thinking about this being the art studio, but then I liked the idea of a bigger one. So now we have this space and like nothing in it. It's almost like a sunroom. Like you could probably use this as a greenhouse if you wanted to, but that's not really the vibes that I'm going for. I'm kind of decorating it like it's an extra living room, but then also thinking about what sort of additional skill building items would be useful to have. We don't have a guitar anywhere in this house, so I'll try and add in one of those. And this might be a real stretch, but I'm almost wondering about having a treadmill too, but I don't know, it's kind of ugly. Unfortunately, some of the furniture I want to add in is gonna like kind of block the windows, but I think I'll get another desk up here with another computer. I'm also wondering about like a giant fish tank. I think in hindsight, that's probably not a good idea, but it was a concept. It was a concept. Music. Oh, why didn't I think of that? That's actually perfect. We'll get a record player up there. I'm putting a bonsai tree too, because they can like use that as skill building as well. And it's probably really hot in this room, so I think I'll give them a ceiling fan. And I'm realizing now there's no lights. It's just windows. So there we go. I think that's the whole place furnished. Now we just gotta do all the exterior because I haven't done that at all yet. I'm going to great lengths right now just to have a hot tub. I think having a hot tub back here is gonna make it. I'm actually kind of basing the whole back patio around the concept of having a hot tub. Hot tub and fairy lights, I think, are the vibes. This is fine, except it is clipping. If I size it down, it's too small. I guess that's okay, because it just clips into the wall. You see, if I put it right here, you can see it inside, but they're in the wall right now, so you can't really tell that it's clipping. I could probably do the same thing over here, although that might be a little bit weird. It's like strung too low. We already have a grill and a dining table and a bar, so all the things that I would usually put out here, we've already got. So I guess I'll do some lounge chairs. I do quite like the idea of some lounge chairs and an umbrella, because that takes up a lot of space. Okay, suddenly it's getting very dark in my office and it's starting to pour, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. I would like to have some flowers in the back here, so I might fill in the landscaping like this. It's very green. I think it's pretty. And then I guess we'll just try to match those same vibes in the front of the house. Do you think putting this tree right here is like too much? It might be, but I kind of like it. We can do a welcome mat. Oh, you know what else we need to do is paint the roof. I don't always paint the ceilings, but I think in this case, it's gonna make a big difference, because look at this right here now. It's metal metal on the underside and on the top. Looks way better. Oh, maybe we don't need to have flowers in the front. Like maybe it's okay if it's just a few bushes. I know I always put these. It's like my favorite tree. I love these big oak trees. I think that helps though. It kind of blends it in with the rest of the lot. I don't know if putting one in the front is a good idea because it's gonna be kind of, well, if we can get it so it doesn't clip with the house, it will probably almost always clip with the house, and we don't want it to be too far over. I guess I can size it down. This wasn't the original plan, but you know what? I think I might even also get some planter boxes, because won't that be nice functionally to have some places to put a garden? The lot's quite small, so you don't have a lot of backyard space for it. Okay, I'm gonna go through now and put terrain paint everywhere. We're gonna want a mailbox. So now we have a mailbox, a thermostat, and trash cans. We've got all the defaults. The only thing that's kind of weird, I think, is maybe this big plain wall. So I may get a couple of extra trellises on there, and then maybe even like one of these things, because that helps. And then last, I'm just thinking, I don't need to do this, but I think it might be kind of cute if we had a bike just kind of leaned up against this right here in the front. It makes it look a little bit more lived in. And that, my friends, I think is the fully finished artist loft. So it's a 3-story house. It's only 2 bedrooms. But it's 3 stories. Here's kind of a top-down overview of the first floor. We've got a little dining room, a kitchen, and a living space. We've got the 2 bedrooms down here. And then upstairs, we have a massive art studio and also that 1 bathroom. And then on the 3rd floor, we've got kind of like a second living room / skill building room. And I kind of like that. I think it's nice to have for like a gym. Maybe it could be an extra bedroom. Whatever you need, you can kind of use this flex space for. Plus, it's got 2 balconies, one with like a little table and a grill, one with more art stuff. And then we also have a hot tub and like some lounge chairs in the backyard. So I'm gonna upload this to the gallery. I'm gonna call it an artist loft. I'm scared to see how many packs it uses. I actually don't even want to know. Oh no, it's 3 pages. That's so bad. It was fun. It was worth it. I'm glad that we did this. I really enjoyed messing around with the kit. So stay tuned because tomorrow I'll make a video playing with the nursery kit. And then I think at some point this weekend, I'll probably post a bigger speed build that's sort of a focus on both. I like to try and use the kits in as many ways as possible, so we're probably going to be playing with them a lot this week. And I also owe you a couple base game builds, I think, because there's been a massive base game swatch update. I'm very excited to finally play with it. But I think on that note, I'm going to end the video right here. Thank you for watching. Have the best rest of your day, and I'll catch you all tomorrow. Okay? Bye, everybody. This was fun. I really like the kind of funky shape and funky color scheme in this build, and I never used the mosquito stuff pack, like ever, so that was fun to use too.